All right, so today we're going to talk about, we're just going to continue what we've been doing with box plots, except now we're going to do double box plots. So you're going to use all the tools that we've learned, all the vocabulary, percentages, figuring out like which pieces of data, how much data goes in each section, whisker, half the box, whisker, and so forth. But we're going to do it with two. So let's just jump into it. Skip that one. All right, so the following data shows the amount of goals each team scored at the games throughout the soccer season. So we know that each team played 32 games. All right, so we can make sure we see it all. And wait, no, there we go. So we know that each team played 32 games. The team scored different amounts of goals each game. How many games did Team A score 6 or more? And how many games did Team B score 6 or more? All right, so we're going to look right here at 6, and it says or more. We're just going to go, we're looking that way. All right, so you kind of draw a line here, just kind of set it up. All right, so we know that each team played 32 games, so we know we're going to divide that by 4, because remember, each box plot has 4 sections. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then for our team B, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So they each have 4, they just look different. All right, and 32 divided by 4 is going to be 8. So right here for team A, each section has 8 players, or 8 goals scored, 8 goals scored. No, 8 games, geez, 8 games. This whole section, this whole whisker is 8. Each half of that box, and then this little whisker is also 8. And like I said in the beginning, remember, it doesn't matter what they visually look like that they're not equal. Visually, we know that they are equal because that's how each section is 8 games. All right, and from here we just have to look. So I know that how many games did Team A score 6 or more goals? So I'm looking at 6 or more. It looks like I have 1 section, so it's just going to be 8. And if I look at team B, I start at 6 and I'm going to more. It looks like I have 1, 2, 3 sections. So I have 8, 16, total of 24. All right, and this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be really focusing in on looking into these box plots. All right, so the following data shows the amount of goals each team scored at the games throughout the soccer season. So very similar to what we just had. Each team plays 32 games. The teams score different amounts of goals each time. What is the difference between the number of games Team B scored, the number of games Team B scored 6 or more goals, and the number of games Team A scored 6 or more goals? We already kind of figured this out if you go back to the previous one, right? We know that Team B scored 24 and Team A scored 6. So let me ask you, what does difference mean? Difference means that we're going to subtract. So we're just going to take 24 minus 6, and that's going to give us 18. Wait, did I mess this up? No, it's 8 and 24. Sorry, I did mess this up. 24 minus 8, which will give us 16. 16. So our answer would be B. And that's using what we found in the previous question. Right? No need to redo things if we've already done them once. Unless we get them wrong, of course. All right, example 3, height of girls and boys in inches. There are 24 girls and 16 boys who each have a different height. So now there are different number of girls and a different number of boys. All right, interesting. What's the difference? All right, difference between the number of girls 66 inches or taller and the number of boys 66 inches or taller. All right, first of all, I'm going to put my line here at 66. Remember, I'm going taller. So that's the direction we're looking. Okie dokie. So I have 24 girls. Well, if I have 24 girls and I still need to divide this number by 4, I get 6. That means in each section for girls, there are 6 girls. All right, but when I come to boys, I have 16. Well, same concept. It just happens to be a separate box plot. So 16 divided by 4 will give me 4. All right, and then again, that'll be 4 on each section. 4 on the whisker, 4 on the first half of the box, 4 on the second whisker. So now we just want to look at our line. So remember we drew it at 66. Let's kind of cut this off. Remember, everything to the left of the line we're not really looking at right now. Well, for girls, it looks like we have 6, 12, a total of 18. And then boys, we have 4 and 8. Right, so we're just going to subtract those, get 10. Our answer is 10. Remember, we're looking at each section. So it's 1 and then 2. That's why I was able to circle 2 4s. And then over here, look, I have 1, 2, and then the third section. That's why I'm able to circle all 3 6s. All right, a worker at the weather station is charting daily high temperatures across 2 cities, Washington and Westford. These box and whisker plots show the results. So let me see if I can actually view this a little bit closer. Yeah, we'll kind of work with it. All right, it's asking us, Westford had the lowest temperature recorded. Well, first of all, sorry, which statement could be true? All right, so Westford has the lowest temperature recorded. Let's see, so this is our temperature, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 100. And I look at Westford, their lowest temperature, their lowest number is 75. Washington's is 70. So I'm going to say that Westford is not the lowest temperature. All right, let's switch up colors here. Both Washington and Westford have the same IQR of 10 degrees. Well, we remember that our IQR is going to be, remember, Q3 minus Q1. So let's do it for Washington first. We have, it looks like about 95 here and 85 here. So 95 minus 85 gives us 10. All right, so we know that Washington is 10. And let's look at Westford. Well, it looks like we have about 90 here, which is good, 80, good. And 90 minus 80 is also 10. So it says have the same IQR of 10 degrees. So B is definitely our answer, but we're good test taking students. So let's go ahead and check out C and D. Maybe they'll be quick too. The median is the same for both cities. Quick. Median, medium. No. Westford median is 85. Washington is 90. No. No, no, no. Cannot be median. The Washington has a smaller range than Westford. All right, this one's visual. Look, you can just kind of see that Westford's a shorter box plot. That means that it's going to have a shorter range. But if you guys really wanted to check it out, we know that Washington is going to be 100 for our largest and 70. So 100 minus 70 gives us 30. So that's Washington's range. Westford, our low end is 75. Our high end is 95. And we know that 95 minus 75 is going to give us 20. So if I fill these in, Washington 30, Westford 20. Washington has a smaller range than Westford. We know it's not going to be true. Example 5. Box and whisker plots below shows test scores on the Unit 4 exam based on the information below. Which statement is true? All right, I'm going to go back to the other view just because I think it's a little bit better. All right, which statement is true? Let's start here. Class 1's lower quartile and Class 2's lower quartile are the same. Well, here's Class 1's lower quartile, and here's Class 2's. So Class 1 is 75, Class 2 is 65. Remember, you guys can use that diagram that I've showed you a few times. They're definitely not the same, so A is out. B, Class 2 has a higher IQR than Class 1. Let's figure out what Class 2's IQR is. So it looks like it's going to be 85 and 65. And when you subtract those, you'll get 20. And Class 1 looks like it's 90 and 75. And when you subtract those, you'll get 15. So Class 2 has a 20. Class 1 is 15. 20 is higher. B looks like it's a good answer. All right, for C, but we just have to check the rest of them, right? C, for both Class 1 and Class 2, 50% of the students recorded less than 75% on the test. Well, if we start at 75% and go left, look, we know it's going to be 1, 2, so that is 50%. So class 2 checks off, but class 1 is just 25%. So it's not going to be C. All right, and D, class 2 recorded the lowest score. Well, we can tell our lowest number is a 50. Class 1 is a 30, cannot be D. So our answer is B. All right, Nicole and Albert tracked how long each of them spent time practicing their piano skills each day. The results are summarized in the box and whisker plot below. Based on the following information, select which statement is true. Oh, excuse me. As you guys do some of these, you'll notice some visual things. They'll just be like, oh, well, that makes sense. So again, like Nicole's range is larger than Albert's. Nicole's box plot is shorter than Albert's. So I know the range isn't going to be bigger. But if we wanted to do it mathematically, we would know that it's 50 minus, I assume it's 10. So Nicole's range is 40. Albert's range is 60 minus 10, which is 50. So we know that A is not going to be an answer. Albert's median was 5 minutes longer than Nick's. Well, here's Albert's median. Oh, and that was probably 15, actually. All right, so here's Albert's median, and here's Nicole's median. So Albert does look like Albert's median is, in fact, 5 minutes longer than Nicole's. Albert's median's here, Nicole's here. So B does look like it's going to be correct. Nicole's minutes spent practicing are more dispersed than Albert's minutes spent practicing. So more dispersed means that they are more spread out, right? Means that the minutes are more spread out. And you can just tell by looking at it. Look, Nicole's graph box plot is more compact than Albert's box plot. Right, so Nicole's minutes were not more dispersed. Both Nicole and Albert spent 50% of their minutes practicing for 45 minutes or less. So we come to 45 and we go less. Well, Albert got 1, 2, so it is 50%. Nicole got 1, 2, 3, so that is 75%. So Albert was 50, Nicole was 75, but we needed them both to be 50. So our answer stays true at B. All right, last but not least, we have this monster. 6 different possible answers. The box and whisker plot summarize the times in seconds for the 10th and 12th grade members of the Monarchs track team in the 400-meter run. The 10th grade team has 32 members. The 12th grade team has 24 members. All right, so let's look at the first question, or the first possible answer. All right, and remember it says based on the information, select all statements that are true. This is a select all. That means that you have to select every answer that is correct. If you miss one, it will not count. If you pick an extra one that is not correct, also none of your work will count. So this is one where you have to be extremely accurate and select all. So based on the information, select all statements that are true. The IQR is the same for both 10th and 12th grade. IQR. So let's look at it. Let's go to 10th grade first. We have 70 minus 66. 70 minus 66 is that really what it is? Just 4? Nice. All right. Well, for 12th grade, we have 74 minus 70. 74 minus 70. And that also equals 4. So it looks like A is a good answer. Let me erase my work from there. All right, the range for 12th grade is larger than the range for 10th grade. Well, let's look at range. So we have 73 for 10th grade and 64. So 73 minus 64 is actually going to be 9. And 12th grade, we have 77 and 68. So 77 minus 68 is actually 9 as well. So B is definitely a good answer. All right, good. let's keep them going. There were 8 members in 10th grade that ran it in 70 seconds or more. 8 members in 10th grade that ran it in 70 seconds or more. Well, first what we need to do is look at 70 seconds or more, right? 70 seconds or more. And then we need to figure out what each section is worth. Well, in 10th grade, we know that we have 32 members. So we'll take our 32, divide that by 4, and I believe we'll get, what, 8. Right, 8. So each section is worth 8. All right, so it says there were 8 members in the 10th grade that ran it in 70 seconds or more. All right, so it looks like C is also a good answer. It looks like C is also a good answer. All right, let's go on to D. At least 25% of members in both grades ran it in 72 seconds or more. So it says at least. So we need to get a whole piece here. But we'll see that. We'll look at it. So we have 72 or more. So it works for 12th grade because look, we have 1, 2 pieces. So that's definitely at least 25%, right? But up here on 10th grade, we don't have a full piece. We just have a half a piece. So D is not an answer. All right, the first quartile for 12th grade is 68 seconds. The first quartile for 12th grade. So here's your first quartile. It comes up, it is in fact 70. So we know that E is out. And last is a member in 12th grade ran the 400 meter the slowest. Well, remember when we're talking about a race, your fastest is going to be your lowest number. Your slowest is going to be your highest number. And it looks like 12th grade did run the slowest. So don't forget, you guys have a test tomorrow. If you have any questions, email me. Good luck. We'll have plenty of time to work on the testing class. So have a good one.